How you doing, guys? Welcome back. It's LSP. It's currently the 13th of April 2022. So before I get into the analysis on Bitcoin, Binance, general market and all that good stuff, just a quick one. This is the browser that I use for the live AMAs, and that's why you see the DEX Tools Explorer here. Yieldzilla and the Baked Beans Miner, these were mentioned in the last AMA, and this is why they're still here. I want to kind of go through these. For no other reason. I mean, they're not here because I like them. They're not here because I'm going to be investing in them or anything silly like that. But they were mentioned in the previous AMA, obviously, and this is why they're here. So just to kind of bring that to your attention. So let's go over to the charts. Obviously, not financial advice as always, guys. So please remember that. And I want to start with Bitcoin. I want to bring your attention to something. Before I talk about Bitcoin, before I talk about Binance, let's just do this. I'm going to bring Binance up here, okay? And I want you to just keep an eye on the Bitcoin chart. And then this is the daily chart of Bitcoin. And I'm going to go over to Binance. And I want you to see the difference between the two, okay? And just focus on this section just here. Okay, so the last run up and the last kind of pullback. So this run up and this run down, right? So this is Bitcoin. And that's also Bitcoin. Right, so this is Bitcoin and this is Binance, right? And you'll notice a subtle difference, okay? Now, there is obviously the difference in price volatility. Bitcoin is going to be a little bit more elongated in terms of its ranges, and so on. But it still doesn't change the fact that Binance is showing a little bit of relative strength, to the broader market. Okay, we can't change this fact. Yeah, so when we look at Bitcoin like this, and then we look at Binance, you can see that Binance is still showing that relative strength, right? As you guys know, I've done this ratio many, many times, and I know that Binance, relative to where Bitcoin is right now, should be roughly around about 400, just slightly below 400, maybe between sort of 398 to around about 400. That's the almost perfect ratio, right? But it isn't. It did go down there and then it kind of rallied a little bit on its own, and it's just kind of hovering around about sort of 415, while Bitcoin isn't really showing any indication that it wants to pop, right? And if we go down to the 4-hour chart, this is why, Bitcoin is really, not showing me any indication that it wants to reverse this move, right? You can see on the 4-hour chart of Bitcoin, we've had this move down off this, sell side liquidity pickup, right? And it's starting to come down, and there's no real attempt to move higher, right? Every time it's tried on these two occasions, there's been no real move higher. All it did was consolidate ever so slightly. It ran up, picked up more sell side, and then it's just had an aggressive drop just there. It started to accelerate into this liquidity over here, and then we're starting to go sideways again, right? As we look at price this way, it's almost without any prior knowledge, without any understanding of technical analysis, without any understanding of price or anything like that, you can almost sense that drop that's coming, right? That 38,000, 37,000, right? I called some levels on Twitter. I said they're interesting levels. I do feel that we will be, that these levels will be traded to, below these lows and into this area of liquidity down here, potentially as low as 34,000. But again, my main focus with everything that I'm doing at the moment on Bitcoin is trying to confirm, as I said in the live AMA, whether this rally in this downtrend, okay, is the case. Yeah, is this a rally in this downtrend? If that's the case, and I can confirm that that is indeed correct, then we're going sub 28,000, and I will confidently say that, right? But I need to be able to confirm that and have the confidence when I say that. And the 4-hour is confirming so far that that is indeed the case. But we need to be able to see whether or not the rest of the market's going to follow suit. Ethereum is following suit at the moment, but again, showing an ever so slight relative strength, to Bitcoin. It is a little bit higher than it should be in terms of where Bitcoin is and whether, that kind of ratio is in terms of where Ethereum should be, right? So where does that kind of leave us? What do we do with this information? It's all well and good kind of planning all of this out and saying, this is what we expect, this is what I'm seeing. as you know, I'm out of Binance. I've kind of moved everything back over to pounds, and I'm just sitting on the sidelines because I need to see and I need to wait for that moment in time where something makes sense to me, right? One of the key elements to investing or trader mentality is being able to pull yourself aside, pull yourself out of your ego, pull yourself out of your emotions, out of your psychology, and allow you to do the thinking and not the ego or the emotions, or the pull or the money or the excitement and so on, and be able to rationalize what you're seeing in front of the markets, right? I'm seeing that Binance is showing a little bit of relative strength. Is that enough for me to buy back into Binance, and expect to run to the upside? Absolutely not, because if you pair this with Bitcoin and you say, well, Bitcoin is not really showing any strength at all right now in the short term. It is looking like it wants to go down to 37,000, possibly 36,000. If that's the case, even if Binance sits still and stays exactly at 414, 415, while Bitcoin's running lower, that's not going to help us anyway, because that just means that I'm going back into Bitcoin buying back into Binance for argument's sake while it's static. There's no momentum there. There's no sentiment there. There's nothing. There's no real indication that Binance is going to be moving higher and giving me an indication, right, that I'm on the right side of things. And I will not have any confidence being in a position like that, right? So it's a question of being patient and waiting for those moments in time where something makes sense. So for example, let's say Bitcoin really starts to run low and it hits 38,000, 36,000, and stabilizes and then really starts to turn. We have to do this whole process all over again, right? Where price would have, for example, for me, price would have to turn and basically neutralize this entire move, okay, and get back above this high, eat into this liquidity, okay, absorb all of this, okay, and then start to get above this high and then create that new range between 46,000 and 52,000 for me to even consider doing anything with Binance again, right? Now, on the downside, let's say Binance really starts to gain some legs and it starts to really go to the downside. What's the one level that wasn't hit in the first study that I did on Binance? Down here, right, the 285 level. And I was saying I wanted to see 285. The first was 325. And then the second level was down here at 285, right? That's the level that I'm interested in. I don't care about any other level. I'm not interested in picking it up here unless it creates that new range. Because if it creates that new range up here, like with Bitcoin, if Bitcoin does that, then Binance will probably follow suit. Then I know that I'm good for that next leg up to the upside between 480 and around about 600. And I have a new range to play with, right? Other than that, it's down here around about sort of 285. How long is that going to take? Can I be bothered to wait? Of course. I'm an investor. I am here to get on the right side of things and make the correct informed decisions. I'm not here to be right. I'm not here to caress my ego. I'm not here to prove points. I'm not here to be clever. I'm an investor trying to put myself on the right side of the market, more often than not. Right. So these are things that we need to take into consideration. The 4-hour chart is absolutely key now on Bitcoin. That's the one that I'm focused on the most. The 38,000 is absolutely key level. We're not that far off. We know Bitcoin, when it really starts to go, when it wants to go, it will go. This area down here is very important, just below these lows. So definitely get rid of that and let's do that one again. Definitely pay attention to that, to that level down there. Sorry, guys. Definitely pay attention to this level down here. This is a key level below these lows. And you can almost see that kind of completion, of, the full move, from here all the way up and then all the way back down to neutralize. And then obviously I believe that we're probably going to end up coming down here into this level, sort of around about 36,000, maybe sub 36,000. So, and then we keep an eye on Binance to see whether or not that will follow suit. And if it does, then obviously, we will track those flows on Binance and see where that's going as well. All right, guys. So that's the general market overview at the moment. And I will catch up with you guys in the next update. Hope everyone's having an absolutely fantastic day or evening. wherever you are in the world. And I look forward to speaking to you in the next update. All the best, guys. Take care.